Hi, I'm Leo. Welcome to Low Budget Garage, the mechanic show for the average Joe.
Okay, in our last episode, John removed the old wiring harness, threw away those old horns, the alarm system as well. John uncovered an old rat's nest, but then successfully removed the front grille from his car. So let's follow along and see what's next on Low Budget Garage.
Okay, the side marker lights are tucked in on the front fender here. You can see the little bolts sticking out. You have to remove the nut. I think it's like a 3/8 inch nut, and it's not like a normal nut. It's really just like a pressed piece of metal that screws onto the bolt. So once you loosen those nuts, there's two of them, and pull those off. You'll see here in just a second, it's a pressed piece.
Now, if anybody's ever worked on a car like this, I've done some work on my Chevelle. There are a million of these little things in there, and if you're not careful, they're easy to lose.
Yeah, that's true. They also use those for the emblems on the car. So here the assembly is coming out, and you can see it's kind of sandwiches the metal. The light is a lot larger than the bezel.
Yeah, I was noticing that, John. Why do you think the bezel is so small, the light is so large?
They probably use those lights for other things, other cars maybe, and so they just use the bevel to cover up part of it. This is the back of the front light there. It's like a little running light. So the two bolts back here have to come off, and the bracket will come loose, and then this little light here in the front will come right out of, there you go, comes right out of there.
Oh my gosh, what was that?
So it won't come apart down here at the housing. I tried to twist it off and it didn't work. So the wiring runs into the front, right behind the original headlight mounting bracket. So I have to disconnect the plastic clip here and use a little screwdriver to be careful. You want to just pry it open just enough to pull those two pieces apart. You don't want to snap that clip because then you can't lock it back on. And then there's a rubber grommet. You can push on that rubber grommet and the wiring harness will come right out. That way the whole light assembly will come out of the car. Otherwise you have a hard time getting it apart.
Goodbye.
The bag of parts that I've taken off the front end, and you can see I just throw them in little baggies and I mark them passenger and driver side.
Now, John, why do you do that?
Well, you can get really confused 6 months down the road or a year later when you try to put them back on the car and you forget which side goes to which side. And this, eventually you can figure it out, I'm sure, but it's easier just to look at it and you'll know what side to put it back on.
That makes sense.
So it saves a lot of headaches down the road, and I definitely have learned my mistakes, or from my mistakes, and so that's why I bag everything up, keep all the parts together, and then keep them labeled. Everything that I take apart, I'm usually breaking it down into categories. I'll write down the name of the part, where it came from. If there's any information as far as how it was taken apart, maybe some way that it has to go back together a special way. I just kind of make little notes. I'll tuck papers in there. I'll throw pictures that I have in there. And all of that adds up.
Now, John, I noticed that you have DL, and that is driver's side, right? Or D?
Yeah, it's DR for driver's side and then PASS for passenger side.
Well, there it is. There's the front end without the grill, and that's just about where we're at, I think, huh?
Yeah, all the lights are gone. The wiring's been taken out of that front section. No more grill, and we're about done with that front piece.
All right, John. Thanks a lot.